evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Oxford High School tonight. If you don't know me, my name is Brad Schmaltz. I am the band teacher of all of these lovely children on stage, and I just want to give you a great welcome to our 25-26 school year. Let's hear it for our 7th grade band one more time. Hopefully you noticed how much they've grown up in the past 6 months since May. Believe it or not, we just figured out how, like, if you think back to 6th grade concert getting on stage, that was so much better. So nice job, guys. We have a lovely concert for you tonight that we've been working on since about the 2nd week of school. And I was just telling them in the band room how much musical growth, how many skills we've developed, and just how much better they are. And hopefully you hear that tonight. Couple quick announcements before I get the show rolling. One, there is still space on the Mackinac trip for kids and for parents. Would love to have more chaperones. All of that information can be found on Schoology or maybe in your email inbox if Outlook stops being annoying. So thank you for your patience with my email delays. Every time I send an email to 7th grade, it takes like 3 days for everybody to get it. So. Mackinac, sign up for Mackinac. 2, if you're interested in fundraising, we have a nice lady here this evening. I'm looking for Katie Horton. Where is Katie Horton? She's sitting up front. Katie Horton is the VP of the Band Boosters. She's also in charge with her husband Ben, in charge of the, is it Seymour Lake Concessions? Seymour Lake Concessions, which is our big fundraiser just to kind of finish up the fall season that can earn you some quick cash for your trips. My mind's blanking. But thank you for being here tonight. I have one more person to introduce before we get going. This semester, so from the beginning of the school year until Christmas, we are joined with a very, very, very lovely human that I have enjoyed working with since she showed up in July. We have a student teacher again this semester. Her name is Elena Wazinski. I spelled it wrong in the program, and my face, yeah, it was no good when she told me that. I screwed up. So it's Y instead of I, and I'll never forget again. But Miss Elena Wazinski is working with first hour 7th grade, so I offered her the opportunity to conduct tonight. She's going to do Autumn Fanfare, and then I will be back on stage for Discovery Overture. Can we get the house lights down, please and thanks? You're on it, Connor. Appreciate you. I'm away for you. Also, thank you for Concert Black. I know it's a really weird thing, 7th grade, having a uniform, but thank you. Thanks, Connor. And everyone, please welcome to the stage, Miss Elena Wazinski. Lots of growth, right? Did not sound that way last whatever month, May. Yeah. So this next piece is a piece that I do with every 7th grade class every single year because it just teaches a lot of foundational musical concepts that need to be taught in 7th grade. And it also gets, like our flute section, you're gonna hear them in a new range that they have never performed in before, and just a lot more independence. So up next we have Discovery Orchard. All right, we got one last piece for 7th grade tonight. And it actually was a request last spring from one of our tuba players, Mr. Mason Thompson. And was it Theo? Yeah. So a lot of kids wanted to do this one. It is called Dark Star. It shows off a lot of stuff. So we have a beefy low brass section this year, if you can't tell. And we also have an army of percussionists. So we feature both of these guys, or both of these sets of kids. And it's just a fun one. Before I forget to say, I believe 7th grade's next concert is Thursday, December 11th. So keep that in your calendar. I have that posted on Schoology. I think I sent that to you in an email earlier this fall, but technology. Thank you all for being here tonight. Stick around, listen to the 8th grade, see where these kids are going to be in a year, and I will see you in December. Okay, hi. Can you welcome to the stage our 8th grade band? So, this is the first time that they have ever had class all together. So, yes, we have this many kids in 1 hour. And it's been a learning process as we do it. So there's just specific routines, behavior expectations that may not be the same as what they've experienced in the past couple years. But they have grown a lot behaviorally. They have grown a lot playing-wise. Ms. Wazinski and I just threw a lot of challenges at them. So like tonight, we have a very first. If you saw in the program, we have our 8th grade brass quintet that's going to play in between the first and second piece. And we're here to show off tonight. So I hope you enjoy. We're going to start with Crosswinds March. without me. Ms. Wazinski worked with them. She's the one that arranged what they're playing, so she wrote the music for them to play. But this is them. So here is our 8th grade brass quintet playing In the Hall of Nottingham. So next up is a traditional tune that darn near everybody knows. That was a very big challenge for this group of kids because, I mean, let's be honest, I am not a slow and pretty kind of guy. If you haven't noticed, at every concert since they were in 5th or 6th grade, there's lots of fast and fun and loud and obnoxious. And I'm doing a better job at making sure that I teach them slow and pretty and how do we make high quality sounds in a slower environment where it takes more mental bandwidth to stay engaged. So this was a very big challenge because I also threw it on Miss Wazinski to teach it. So it's been a really big, like, this is where the most growth has happened in their skills and their development in the past 2 months. I'm really proud of how we played this morning in class and how I'm happy with what I just heard in there, and I'm sure I'll be happy with what I hear on stage tonight too. But let's welcome Miss Wazinski to the stage to conduct today's drill. I don't want to scream anymore. My voice hurts. I'm sorry. If you were here for the 7th grade portion where you heard me say December 11th, that is not for you. 8th grade is on December 15th. You play with the high school wind ensemble, which is the top group at the high school. I highly encourage you to stay and check them out because they are pretty darn good. And that is where these kids are going to be in 9 months, believe it or not. So we have a total of 3 more concerts left together, which is terrifying, but also exciting because they're ready. This next one, Firebirds, is how we're going to close the night. It's fun. It's a good time. It's fast and fun. That's what I like. Let's give it up for Miss Wazinski one more time, please. Happy first concert, Miss Wazinski. And I hope you enjoy some Firebirds. See y'all in December. Appreciate y'all.